Welcome back, guys. So today we're going to be starting the first series of creating a stylized character. So our main reference for this is going to be trying to replicate this exact stylized character. So I'm going to be going through different phase or process for kind of creating this. So let's just try. So I'm going to be using a base mesh for this though. So I'm not going to be starting this from a sphere or from scratch. So I'm going to be using a base mesh. The area has a good enough topology to work with to kind of recreate this stylized character from scratch. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to kind of make sure my base mesh is in the right reward scale for this. So I already have this in the reward scale. So all of this base mesh that I've gotten over the years, I've kind of arranged them in the realistic world scale. So and which is roughly around from the from the tip of the head to the jaw should be like around 25 centimeters for an average head. So let's check that in here. So I'm going to go to the front view. Let's just turn off the grid for now. So let's use this base mesh instead to kind of check the measurement if it's actually accurate. It's actually accurate though, but I just want to kind of show you guys in case you don't have any of this. So if you want to kind of do a better measurement for it. So but you need to keep in mind that I'm using centimeters. So it's kind of change your scene unit to centimeter. You just go to window, settings and preferences. Then I think you should be under settings. Yes, under settings. So you can change this working unit to any of these. So centimeter should be fine. Then if I should use the create tool, I think we have under the measure tool, let's use the distance tool. So let's do something from around here all the way to around here. So more or less like of an average edge around 24 to 25 centimeters. So it's around 21. So let's just increase this all the way up. Let's use the gizmo and just increase this like so. So if I go to the side view for this, and let's just isolate that particular head model. So Control 1, in the side view, turn off this grid. Okay, let me select the measurement tool and select this base mesh also, then Control 1 to kind of isolate this. Let me isolate this also in here. So yeah, somewhere around there, should be somewhere around there. So we have more or less like almost 24, around 23.9, which is kind of good for a base mesh. Which is actually good for a base mesh head for reward scale. So for the stylized model also, I have a base mesh I'm going to be using. So I still want to kind of use the same units to kind of get a proper reward scale to it. So if I'm using the SSS values, I shouldn't be having too much of an issue kind of getting the subsurface capturing to kind of work properly when using the same accurate value for a reward scale base mesh or model. So I will just create a new, I think I'll just create a new scene in here. Don't save. Okay, so I'm just going to import my base mesh now. Can't really remember where I got this base mesh from though. Let's just drop this here. So this is my stylized base mesh. The topology looks good enough to work with, even for animation also, I believe. So this should more or less be good enough to work with. So the next thing I'm going to do is kind of make sure this is on real world scale. So let me just give this a bling material instead. Kind of darken it a bit more, like so. Maybe a bit more, maybe even more. Let me darken it even more. just to have some contrast with this from the background. So something like this. Then if I should go to the front view, or better still from the side view instead. Go from the side view. I'd like to draw my measurements somewhere around here. So let's see. Edit. No, should be on create. Measure to distance. So let me start somewhere around here. Hold down shift. Put this around here. So we have a value of 32. So they're kind of shrink this down to around 24. So let me select this button piece. I'll go to the gizmo and just get this to somewhere around 24. So somewhere around here should be fine. Then I'll select the model and try to scale this up to fit. So I think I'll put the gizmo on the fit. So I like to put the gizmo on the fit of this model. So I hit D on the keyboard. No, hit D on the keyboard. I'm just gonna get this flat on the feet like so. I hit D again. So if I'm scaling this up, it's kind of scale from this origin points all the way out. So go to the scale tool to kind of scale this in place roughly somewhere around here like so. Let's check this from the front view. I think the side view gives us a better angle to it. Guess now I need to scale this down a bit more. Okay. Selecting the base mesh, I'll go to the translate to and try to get this in place like so. This is more or less roughly let me scale this down just a little bit more. Okay. Then the translate to kind of go back in there and try to average this in. Yeah, I think something more or less like this should be fine. Yes, this scale should be just fine, should work just fine. So I can delete this now. Now just save this out. Should I save this in now? What should we name this guy? This guy looks more or less like an Indian, so let's give this guy more or less like an Indian name to him. So any suggestions as to which Indian name should we give this guy? Let me just give this guy Mr. Vijay. I think that should be a better name for him. Stylized. Okay, so I'm going to save this into this file. You can name it whatever name you prefer to name it. Whichever one works for you is completely fine. So I'll just save this in here, Mr. Vijay. Mr. Vijay Katish. Am I spelling this wrong? But I think this should be fine. Okay, so now we have our base mesh now. So I think one thing we failed to do was to get the eyeball following this also. Should have put this in a group instead. It should have been in a group instead. So the eyeball is not in place. Let's probably just scale this. Let's just get the eyeball in place. Center pivot on this. Or better still, let me just group these two. No. Just group this instead. And I'll bring in the base mesh again. And just scale this new base mesh to this. So this is a new base mesh. Group this. Let me name this to new. Because I want to kind of keep the position of the eye where it is. So let me just try to size this up. Let's go to the scale tool. Kind of scale this up, kind of match. Yeah, something pretty much like so. Something pretty much like so should be just fine. So I think I can delete the previous one now and apply the same material of the blink existing to this. So now the eye should be in place also, so we can, let's see. Not too sure if I can even use this eye, but let's just use that as a placeholder. I might even need to kind of fix new eyes for this guy, but let's just use this as a placeholder for now. Okay. So I'll save this again. So now we can export this model out into into ZBrush rather. So let me save this again. Then I'm going to open the ZBrush and then try to, we're going to import this in. Since we already have our scale, so the scale now is just fine. So you can just go into ZBrush and then start setting some other things up and then continue to work with this. Guys, some pretty large ears. Hopefully we don't pull the topology too much and kind of stretch this out way more than we need to. Also, let's kind of check if this comes with UVs. I don't know if this comes with UVs. Let's see if this comes with UVs. Okay, unfortunately this does not come with UVs. Unfortunately this doesn't come with UVs. That's fine. Probably when we are done the sculpting and then we want to bake, we cannot bring this back into Maya and then try to create some UVs for this piece. Okay, for the most part this looks fine. So let me just go back to modeling standard. Then I'm going to export. I'm actually going to export this to out. Let's export them separately. Let's just name this stylized. Let me just name this eyes. This on all caps eyes. body. Let me just name this to male body. So I'm going to export this out as an obj file. We still need to use the same directory for this. I'll create a new folder. Name this z imports. So I'll make sure this is on obj. This has to be on obj, very important. So male body. Okay. Export this out. Eyes. Okay. Let's just do a quick save for this. Then let's open up ZBrush. Okay, so we have ZBrush open now. So let me just change the layout a bit. I think I prefer to use this other UI. Though I'm not really using a really customized UI. I'm still going to be using the default, but I'm just going to be using this color instead. So let's just drop in any. Okay, let me come in here to the tools, simple brush, and just drag this cylinder out. Then we can change the layout to something like so. So then I will click on edit, click on make polymesh 3D, Ctrl N to clear canvas and leave just the active sub tool in here. Now go to the document and then the range. I just zero this out so I can have more or less like a plain background with the side also. I'm going to change this to a bling material. Then I would like to import the model in here now. Just make sure our reference image is still on the side like so. Though this looks like a posed model, it actually looks like a posed model. So we're not going to be creating this pose for now, at least for now. We're going to try our best to kind of create or model the entire thing before, model the entire thing, even texture the entire thing before creating a pose for it. So, or rather, we're going to have like two poses, more or less like an A pose like we have on the base mesh. Then kind of pose this out, but the texturing is going to be on the A pose because that one will be more symmetrical. This particular pose is not very symmetrical. Okay, so now let's come in. Let me just put this to the side. Then let's import the model. So we use imports. So let's import the body first. Open. Fluid mesh contains vertices. We like to remove one and use vertices. No, let's use no for this. Okay, that seems to import correctly as it should. Then we'll go to append the new sub tool in here. Select the sub tool and then let's import let's import instead the eyes for this. Okay, so I've imported the eye in here now. Alright, I think this is actually in a good place. Okay. Now, for the most part, this particular character is going to be covered up with some clothing, so I think I may not be doing so much kind of do proper detailing for the inner part of the model, but at least we want to get at least some good enough detail in here just in case you want to kind of reuse this later on for another character. So I'm going to be using the references in here that we can use for for the body, just to have an average body stylized anatomy for this before moving on. Okay, so I think there should be one here. I don't even know. I don't even know where I kept that, but it looks something more or less like so. Something more or less like so. Not too complicated, but just enough detailing here to kind of, yeah, something like this should be fine. Just enough detail to kind of give that idea of it being stylized. Okay, so this should be pretty much it for now for this tutorial. So in the next lesson, let me just save this file. Next lesson, we'll start working on the parts of the body to kind of get this in the likeness of our reference image. Let me just save this file. Okay,